Welcome to a new podcast where we're breaking through and breaking it down with a new girl. Your host, Dawn Piercy. Welcome to a new podcast. My name is Dawn Piercy. I am your host, and I am delighted to bring you today Brian Elder. He is a actor, director, filmmaker, and he's also owner at Elder Films LLC and co-owner at Feast or Famine Films. So be sure to check those out, and I'll provide the links for you too. So Brian, it's great to have you on a new podcast. For our audience, some things that you may have seen Brian in include, and not limited to, because he's got a lot of movies coming out. So things that you may have seen him in would be Death and Compromise, which is a TV series that's going on right now. Let's see, he's been in Quaker Oats, Free States of Jones, Lincoln, the movie, Zoo, the TV series, Killing Lincoln, American Experience. He's been in a lot of different films and ones that are coming up that are in pre-production, completed, and that he's currently filming. Brian, tell us a little bit about Take Me Home. That's one that you just completed. And tell us a little bit about Showdown on the Brazos. I know I've interviewed a couple of more people that's in that movie with you.
Yeah. So Take Me Home is actually a friend of mine that wrote that. And I have a pretty small part in that. Right now, it's just they did the trailer basically, and they did a short version of the feature. And so they're going to go back and do the rest of the feature as soon as they get the rest of the funding for it and stuff. And so that's that one. And then Show on the Brazos, you said you've gotten a lot of people, you've interviewed a lot of people in that. And I can guess some of the people, probably Bill Foster and Jeff Davis.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Great people. I love Jeff and Bill. They're awesome people. Very, very cool. And they're awesome. Bill's actually the director and writer of that one. And he asked me to be a part of it. And so it was fun working with Bill. And I worked with Bill just the other day. I worked with Bill on another film. We were this weekend, this past weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, we were working on a film together. And so, I'm excited to see that one. It's called The Ride to Tres Quartas.
Okay.
And so it's it's a faith-based short film. And it's like it's on like the verse in Luke. I forget what verse is, like Luke 12 or something like that, where Jesus took the walk through Emas or something like, I don't know how to pronounce that right. But it's based on that, but it's in the cowboy version.
Oh, wow.
And Dennis Allen is the one who wrote that. And so he cast both Bill and myself on it and a few other people.
Okay,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
Now, at 5 years old, you used to sing to your family. You used to be a music artist. What made, and you actually were in the Battle of the Bands competitions with, Bret Michaels, Papa Roach, 3 Days Grace, among many others. Tell us about that. How did you go from the music industry to filmmaking and acting and directing?
Oh man, so yeah, music was my passion for many years, and actually I was just going through my photos the other day. I had a friend over, and she needed a place to crash, so I was like, you can crash here, it's not a problem. So she was over, and I found some pictures that I like when I was growing up, and one of the pictures, oddly enough, and this was just the other day before the weekend, right before I left to go down to where was I at? Not Bernie, but Bandera. That's where we were filming at, Bandera. And so I saw a picture and I was like, I had to have been like, 4 years old or something like that. I was really young. It was before my parents divorced. And my parents divorced when I was 7. So it was like, I was like 4 or 5 at the time. And I was at Christmas and I was opening up a Dukes of Hazzard guitar. And I was like, oh, there it is. It's my first guitar right there. Dukes of Hazzard. That was like 4 or 5 years old. Little fish string, guitar.
Yeah.
So that brought back memories. Anyways, I want to share that with you. But maybe actually I could probably grab that picture and flip it to you right now real quick. But I'll do it in a minute. And then I'll remind me and I'll go grab that picture.
Okay.
But so basically I love music. I did that for most of my life, and I got to do a lot of really cool stuff, growing up, Bret Michaels and Poison was one of my favorite bands because
Okay.
I'm giving my age out a little bit here, but I loved Poison and that that era and stuff. And so I kept telling everybody, I was like, one day I said I'm going to be on stage with Bret Michaels one day, and I got to do it twice.
Amen.
I got to open for him twice, and and so it was going into film. It was I had fallen into being asked to be an extra, just a background on something.
Okay.
And I was like, sure. So I did that. It was having to hold. I'm from Virginia, so it was filmed in there. And from that, I got cast on, being a part of Lincoln for 2 weeks, and that's where I fell in love with it. And I was like, I got to do this. I got to do more of this. So it just went from there, and directing and stuff just kind of, I don't know, it became a thing. I came out here to Texas 8 years ago, or 7 years ago. I came out here to Texas, and I just started directing stuff, as far as like, commercials and little short films and things like that. And I absolutely loved it. So, but I love acting so much, so it's just, that's how my transition went. It was oddly placed. I don't know.
Now, are you still doing music?
Yes and no. Like I still do it for fun. I don't do it now for to make a living or anything. I don't do it, as I did it for a living for a while. I was signed to a small label for 2 years in 2006, and I got to do all that stuff. But I don't. I miss it. Like whenever I hear my friends play, or I go watch a live show, or even sometimes just driving on the road and I hear the radio and I start singing with it going on the radio. I'm like, oh God, I miss this. So I do miss it, but the most that I do right now is I just play my guitar like in my room, or I might play for some friends, or every once in a while people are like, my friends are like, hey, they're like you can sing, come do karaoke with us. And so I get up and do karaoke, and that's fun, and I like to I don't tell people a lot that I did music.
Right.
So it's funny, like I've had some friends that don't even know that I used to sing. And they're like, hey, we're going to do karaoke. You should come with us, have fun. I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. So I'll come out and do karaoke, and then I'll get up there and sing. And they're just like, what? They're like, you did not tell us. And I was like, why would I tell you? I mean, that's not, unless the conversation comes up, I'm not going to be like, hey, I used to be a singer, So it's a lot. I like to just, to do that. And it's just fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And for our audience, they probably know that every week I have a different background.
I like this background. I haven't seen the other ones, but I like this background.
I'll have another too.
I like the bear. It gives a little touch. The bear is sleeping right now, but I like it.
The bear died. It fell over and it croaked. So,
no.
So which was your very first movie? Was it Lincoln, or was it a different movie? I think it was in 2011, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah, okay. It was 2011. My first one was To Have and to Hold.
To Have and to Hold.
Yeah, Lincoln was the second one.
Okay.
When I did, so.
Okay. Now, did you ever take any acting classes, or was it like you just started and jumped right in there and was like, this is it?
Yeah, no, I didn't take any acting classes. I have since then. I've taken, not much, but I've taken I took 2 classes is all I took. And that was actually last year or the year before is when I started doing a class, and I did it for, I took 1 class for a year, another one for 6 weeks.
Okay.
And that's basically the only classes I've ever taken for acting.
That's a long class. A year class? How many days a week?
Yeah, 1 day a week.
1 day a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like an ongoing class.
52 classes.
Yeah. But it was awesome. It was fun. I got to meet more people, connect with them and stuff and everything like that. But no, I mean, I guess music and acting, they come hand in hand. Because when you're on stage and you're performing as a musician, you're acting.
Right.
Because you're totally different. You're a different persona when you're on stage. When you're on stage, you're actually, you're acting because you're throwing the mic up there. You're getting people to sing with you. You're interacting, and you're essentially a totally different person. And that's, so I learned from there how to, manipulate into different, characters.
Now, are you a songwriter too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Nice. Now, what was the name of your bands that you were in?
Oh man, I was in a band. I was in, I was in a band in fourth grade, and we did not do nothing at all. Just we had a name. It was Brian Elder and the Noise Boys, but we had a name, but I mean, we all had like our own instruments, but we never played. We never practiced. We had a name. We went through fourth grade going, yeah, we're in a band. Yeah, we're in a band, but we never
Nice.
did anything. So that's a funny story from me because like it just I mean fourth grade we're not gonna play anyways. But my first band, my first real band outside of that we actually played and did some stuff was in seventh grade. I had a band called Steel Vengeance,
Still
and then
Vengeance.
I had a band called Zephyr in high school.
This had to have been the 80s and 90s, right? If
Yes,
I'm not
yes,
mistaken. Okay, that's when I grew
yeah,
up too.
yeah, late
I'm a
late 80s,
70s
early
kid.
90s. Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, so Zephyr was one of them. Euphoria was another one I was in. My bigger bands that we played like big
Hmm.
shows and did things. We did radio interviews and stuff like that. Was Splint was one of them. Standing Ground was another. And then when I signed to the label, I signed as Brian Elder. So we played as Brian Elder.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. Now, um, I was in a band in the fourth grade too. I was
Oh,
10 years
nice.
old, and I played the guitar, and my mother broke my guitar and threw it in the trash and told me I suck. That's what she
What?
did. Yes. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And then she put me into acting.
And so was it
What?
a good transition though, or was
It
it what
was.
happened with
I
that?
grew up in theater. I started in
Okay.
theater when I was about 5. But yeah, it was kind of a transition, so I never really got into music, but I'm with Universal Music Group Distribution now. So
Oh,
instead of
very cool.
playing, music, I'm getting people distribution.
Well, there you go. So, well, so did you go, hey, mom, I was a little pissed when that happened, but hey, thank you, because now I'm doing something with music, but it's on the other side of it.
Right, right, right. So, yeah, I know, right? It was just funny how that worked out. But also, when I was 10, I was interviewing people on their front patio. So I thought that was kind of
Oh,
funny. 30 years later, I'm still doing it.
yeah. So you know what? That's a driven passion. It's something is in you. It's instilled in you.
Right,
So
right. Yeah,
that's cool.
yep. So now tell us a little bit about Death and Compromise. You play as young Luke. And is
Look,
this something, this seems to be a reoccurring role for you? And where can we see it?
okay. So Death and Compromise is actually one of mine and John's productions, and
Okay.
so we're co-creators of the show. I'm one of the writers. John's one of John and I both are an executive producer
Mm-hmm.
on it. He's got more money invested than I do in it. I'm the director of the show, and we both produce it basically as well. So and we're both actors in it. We're both one of the lead actors. He plays Lemuel Sinclair. I played Luke Young.
Mm-hmm.
It's set in the 1850s. It's a western, but it's not your typical western. It's got action, comedy. It's got a little bit of adventure in it, and it's just, I mean, it takes you on a whole adventure of these two characters, fictional
Mm-hmm.
characters, in like a factual, time frame and setting of the 1850s, being chased by a crooked deputy who basically has turned the whole town and the sheriff against us for something he set us up for. I won't give away too much more than that, but
Right.
it takes us on a really cool adventure. We have two saloon women, Clara and Bethany, and that's Andrea Flowers and Jennifer Kendall, and
Okay.
they come with us, but they basically force themselves into our lives, and so we have no choice but taking them with us,
Right.
and then it becomes a good quartet basically, and so and they're you know can I say the A word, like they're badasses.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the show, and so they're it's really cool. I play the comedy relief basically, and John plays the serious. I'm the con man, the one that's going to get us in trouble, but I'm also going to try to talk us out of the trouble. And John's a serious one. He's basically he's just going to shoot you if he has to, you know. And so we counteract each other very, very well, and it's a really cool role for each of us.
Okay.
So yeah, so it just takes you on an adventure through it. And right now we are going to. I was talking to you earlier, telling you we're going to be in LA next
Yes.
or this week. So Friday we fly into LA, and we will be there for 5 days, and we're going to American Film Market. We're going to be,
Okay.
we got meetings set up. We're going to be pitching it to distributors and aggregators and networks and all that alike, the
Very
studios and
nice.
stuff. So as soon as that comes out, that's where you can watch it. For now, though, you can follow us on Facebook at Death and Compromise, IMDb. We are probably on Instagram somewhere. I don't know, but yeah, anywhere online you can follow us. So
somewhere, yeah.
yeah, somewhere in the internet world.
Okay. Now on the ones that are in pre-production, the Recollision. Did I say that?
Reconciliation.
Reconciliation of Love and Revolvers. These seem to have a theme, Westerns. Am I
Yeah,
right?
those two, just those two do.
Just
Death and
those
Compromise.
two?
And,
Okay.
yeah.
And Lasting Moments. I know that you
Yes.
can't spill the beans per to say, but can you tell us anything about those?
Yeah. So the Reconciliation is a Western. And that's about it's like the best thing I can tell you is it's almost like a Bonnie and Clyde type Western. You know,
Okay.
with a different synopsis, different
Mm-hmm.
setting, and all that sort of stuff. But that's basically that one. You've got Bishop and Anne, who were once a couple, and they were like the Bonnie and Clyde couple. She had to leave him because basically, with them two together, he was going to get killed, you know, and she didn't want that, so she left him in the middle of the night. He finds her, like, you know, many years later, like, you know, 15, 20 years later, he finds her. She's married to somebody else, but he wants one more job. And so
Right.
basically he convinces her, and her new husband has no idea about her past. And he convinces her, you know, let's take this one more, you know, job, unless you've gone, you know, soft or whatever, and you know, you don't do this anymore. And of course that, you know, ruffles her feathers, and she's like, you know, I'm in, let's do this. So that's that one, you know. And they
Okay.
go, and that's where the adventure starts and takes you along that, you know, that last ride between them. um, Lasting Moments is actually it's a faith-based feature.
Mm-hmm.
It's Tristan and Sarah meet, and you know, they fall in love. They have problems just like everybody else, all the ordinary problems. But there's one day that a tragic event changes their lives, and I can't tell you what the tragic event is, but there's a tragic event that changes their lives, and it changes it forever. And
Okay.
you know, so yeah.
Now, what has been your biggest hope and inspiration, and who has been your inspiration through all that you're doing?
My biggest hope, I want to do this for the rest of my life, basically. I want to make films. I want to act. I want to direct. And I love writing too, as you can see. So I love writing. I love acting. I love directing. And I want to be able to do and producing stuff, but I want to be able to do those for the rest of my life. As far as any goals and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that's just my biggest goal. I don't care to get, you know, the limelight, the fame, and the fortune, and all that stuff doesn't,
Right.
you know, do anything for me either way. I don't, you know, that's fine. You know, I've seen touched on, you know, that stuff, and I just want to do this for a living. Like, whether it means that, you know, I do stuff that I'm writing, and my production takes it and gets it to the studios, and they go to Netflix or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. I just want to keep on working at it and stuff. So that's my goal, is to just keep my dream and to
Mm-hmm.
keep doing it. My inspiration, first of all, is God.
Amen.
It's my big inspiration. He's given me the ability to do everything I've done, and I'm, you know, grateful for the gift and the talent and everything He's given me, and putting me in these shoes for filmmaking, because that's not even where I was expecting to go
Right.
until I fell into it. And so that's my biggest inspiration and my thankfulness. Um, actor wise, my two favorite actors are Harrison Ford and Johnny Depp. I love the way Johnny Depp does, I love his character acting. And that's what I like to do most is character acting. I love, if I could play Captain Jack Sparrow or, Edward Scissorhands or something like that, or even Indiana Jones or something like that. Those are the roles that I love. And I get to do Captain Jack Sparrow every once in a while because I do character acting on the side too, where I get to go see, different children who are sick and stuff like that. And so I get to play that, real big. And I'm like, Commodore, you seen my ship? So like, I'm here to commandeer a ship. And, and I got to do all that crazy stuff. So those are my inspirations actor wise. I love doing that type of stuff. Anything character based. So
right on.
I hope was that answering all the questions?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
All right, perfect.
Now, if you had one thing that you'd like to say to the world, Brian, what would it be? Just one thing.
Just one thing.
Just one thing.
You are making this hard. Just
well,
one
yeah,
thing.
I got to.
All right, let's see. One thing. Oh, okay. One thing I would say, believe in yourself. Don't give up, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. So always believe in yourself, what you do, and don't give up, and I know this is like still kind of, I'm trying to keep it with one thing, but, and always put God first, because I'm telling you, he has worked miracles that I couldn't, do. So that'd be my thing to say.
Amen. Amen. Now, for our viewers and for our audience, those that are listening and not viewing, where can they follow you at on social media? And for our viewers, just go to newpodcast.com on our platform, click Brian's photo feature, and it will take you directly to his bio page with all the interactive links that you can just click and follow and check out his acting reels there too.
Awesome. I would say definitely IMDb. You can look me up on there, Brian Elder with an I, or I think you might know. I might say this wrong, but I think it's Brian_Elder is my Instagram handle.
Okay.
I think so. I think it's Instagram. It's Brian_Elder. Facebook, you can go Brian Elder Actor, or Elder Films is on Facebook. I have a personal Facebook page as well, and then I'm sure I have a Twitter page, but I never use it. So probably Instagram, Facebook, and IMDb are the biggest three things that I use. I have a LinkedIn page, and I only get on every once in a while and answer emails people send, and that's about it. So
yeah,
those are probably my big social media ones.
Well, in Twitter, you can have so many followers on there, but I get more interactions on Facebook than I do on Instagram or Twitter, and I have over 15,000 followers combined. I think over close to 20 now, and it's just there's more interactions, but I think Facebook is more personal to where Twitter is more link driven, and LinkedIn is just business.
Yeah, LinkedIn is definitely business. Yeah.
So, and then Instagram, of course, all the pictures. Now the pictures do good. I get great responses, especially on the stories, more than I do posting. But yeah,
I'll probably have to get into the stories then, because I haven't done much of that.
Well, I can post a picture and get 600 views on that one picture in 24 hours, and I get followers from it. But if you post the picture, sometimes you get 40 likes, and then it's just there. But
and no new followers, right?
Picture, right. And with the picture and the story, you get so many views, and it's just And then you get to see who's watching too, because it'll show you.
I'm going to have to start, I'm going to have to be all right, Don, school me on this social media stuff. How do I get
And then you can actually, when you post to your story, you can have it go to your Facebook page.
Oh, nice.
Too. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm social media illiterate. I know how to do some things, but you're teaching me. So yeah, keep them coming. What else do I do?
And then, no, I'm just kidding. That's about, but if you use, there's a program called IFFT or ITTTF or something like that. I'll have to look. I'm going to look right now. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So Okay, IFTTT. And for our audience, check out IFTTT because you can link anything you post on Facebook to post on Twitter, or anything you post on Twitter to post on Facebook, and vice versa. If you post a picture, it'll post someplace else. So that's like multi-streaming and social media, and it's free of charge.
Awesome.
So
I will be
check it
doing
out.
that this week.
Right, check it
So
out. And yeah. So Brian, it was great having you on as a new guest. And I'm looking forward to checking out the movies and the TV series that you've got coming out. And for our audience, if you like this episode, be sure to click like and comment, because if you don't comment, then we can't answer back. So if you have any questions for Brian, if you have any questions for me, feel free to comment and we will reply. And be sure to share so other people can enjoy, and subscribe to keep up with all the new guests. And be sure to check us out on Celebre.media and check the TV guide for air times for when we air. And also, we are available on iHeartRadio. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all of your favorite streaming networks. And if you feel fit to buy me a cup of coffee once a month for bringing you these episodes, you can do so at our Anchor.fm platform under a new podcast. This is Dawn Piercy and Brian Elder signing off. Until next time, keep it real.